All right, so multiplication of fractions is often people's favorite operation with fractions because you get to go straight across. So here's the reason why. Let's go ahead and look at 1/2 times 3/4. Again, we can think of multiplication and the word of as the same thing. So we're looking for 1/2 of 3/4. So first let's start out just thinking about a rectangle. Okay, that's our whole. First thing I want is I want to take half. So we'll go ahead and put that in green. When I split it in half, if I want 1/2, I take 1 out of 2. So I'm going to be keeping this whole top part. Just the half that I'm keeping, I want 3/4 of that. So if I have 4 pieces now, and I'm going to color in 3 of those. However, what we want to know is how much did we color in of the entire thing? And to know that, I have to make all the pieces in the picture the same size. So I need to carry these lines down. And now if you notice, I end up with 8 total pieces. And the only pieces that got colored with blue and green were numbers 1, 2, and 3 right here. So there were 3 pieces that got both colors. So again, I cut it into half, and then I took 3/4 of the half, and I ended up with 3/8 of the total. So let's start thinking about something that we've seen quite frequently. You should know that 10 divided by 5 equals 2. That should be common knowledge. Another way that we can think of this, though, is as a multiplication problem as 10 times 1/5. So all I did here is I found the reciprocal of 5, or I flipped it upside down, and I changed it from division to a multiplication problem. Okay, so now I know that when I multiply fractions, I need to go straight across. So remember, any whole number you can put over 1. And then when I multiply straight across, I get 10 times 1 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. I end up with 10/5. Remember, any fraction is a division problem. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now, why would we put in that extra step of changing it to a reciprocal? Well, in this case, it was simpler to just go ahead and do this original problem here. But when we start getting other fractions, knowing that we can multiply and do the reciprocal can be really helpful. So for example, let's go ahead and look at 1/3 divided by 2/5. Now remember, in our example problem up here, the 10 didn't change at all. So the first term is not going to change. It's still going to go ahead and be 1/3. And now I'm going to change it to a multiplication problem at the same time that I flip the second fraction. I find its reciprocal. And now I can go ahead and do a regular multiplication problem and multiply straight across. 1 times 5 is 5, and 3 times 2 is 6. So let's go ahead and look at 2 and 1/5 times 4. And then we can go ahead and look at a division problem as well. We'll look at 5 divided by 1 and 1/3. So if we're multiplying and dividing, we don't need to find a common denominator, but we do need to be able to multiply straight across. In order for that to happen, we're going to have to put any mixed numbers into improper form first. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, and the denominator stays the same. So that first number changed to 11/5, and we're going to change 4 to 4/1. Any whole number can be written with a denominator of 1. Okay, now that I have it in this form, I can go ahead and multiply straight across. 11 times 4 is 44, and 5 times 1 is 5. Now for our final answer, we're going to want to put it back into a mixed number. So 5 goes into 44 8 whole times, and there are 4 leftovers, and the denominator stays the same. Same idea when we do division. First, we're going to make them both into improper fractions. So 5 is a whole number, so it gets a denominator of 1. And then stays division, because I'm just changing the form. I'm not finding a reciprocal. To make it into an improper fraction, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And my denominator stays the same. Can't multiply yet because we still have a division symbol. So I leave the first one alone. Find the reciprocal of the second one. And then change it to multiplication and go straight across. 5 times 3 is 15. And 1 times 4 is 4. Final step, I want to make it into a mixed number. 4 goes into 15 3 times. That would get us up to 12. And then there are 3 leftovers. And I keep a denominator of 4.